This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, my name is Atty. Welcome to the program. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we are faced with a number of issues, not necessarily just the DAP. It's not necessarily just the politics that seem to break away and fall into different pieces. Last week, we were hit by Glenda, a typhoon that many people around the world started calling, asking if their families here are okay. Glenda, however, now that it's come and gone, devastated the country and left no less than 90-odd people dead and gone. The government comes out and says that everything is well and it was not so bad. Now, I don't know how many lives it takes before you categorically say anything is a crisis. I personally think the death of one is crisis by itself. However, we are faced with bigger issues. It started basically with a traffic rerouting in Manila, however good-natured or thinking the vice mayor must have had. It developed or mutated into a monster called the real problems the port is facing. So it seems it takes weeks, if not months now, to import and or export, meaning the flow of goods is constricted, and ships that come in from other countries are said to be waiting in line on the water being charged demurrage in spite of them parking, waiting their turn to unload and or load. It seems our products and services is going to suffer, ergo prices to go up. While this is going on, of course, we've got the illegality of that, of which the president, again, no less, says he does not think it is correct, and he asks the people to wear yellow. Now, to come up with the yellow and the ribbons in the cars, as far as I'm concerned, well, I'm wearing a yellow ribbon, okay? Today, many conveners behind the DAP and many in the judiciary, and as said in the newspaper, are going to come out and wear black in defiance of the president's bullying the judiciary. Incidentally, no less a Congressman, Neil Tupas, has filed a bill to try and disproportionately take off or reduce the judicial budgets. You know, ladies and gentlemen, ang judiciary natin, may problema na nga. They don't even own their properties in all the courts, the halls of justices all over the country. Another congressman said, because you're eliminating the DAP, he says, the rentals of these courts, in no matter how deplorable these conditions are only going to make worse. So, what does that tell us? We are threatened with rising prices, the judicial system to break down, because after all, they are challenging the president. And let's see, there's one other issue. I thought Glenda came and left and, devastated everybody else. I wonder if climate change cooperated with the government, because if we didn't have the typhoon last week, you and I would be going over 6-8-hour brownouts, as we have seen. The typhoon is gone, but there's still no power. What do we do? Where is competent country management? Where are these bright boys who are brought up there, who make millions every month, only to show us what? What are we enjoying today that we deserve? You tell me. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have one of the lead conveners of the DAP that declares it illegal, and rightfully so. The Supreme Court unanimously voted that it is illegal. We've had him in our show some 5 weeks ago. We have Attorney Manuel Luna. Attorney, maraming salamat narito.
Good afternoon, Harry. It's good to be back.
Oh,
and with this issue now, I'm very, very excited to share what I know about this issue and the effects of this on our country.
Ano ba nangyayari ngayon? Nakakatawa lang, ano? Di ba, independent ang legislative tsaka yung executive. Hawak na hawak ng presidente ang legislative, no? I mean, bakit kaya hawak niya when the power of the purse should be with the legislative? Kasi, kung hindi niya bigyan ng pera, o kung binibigyan niya, hawak niya sila. Proof of this was maybe even the use of the DAP with RH bill first, correct?
Yeah.
And then, kahiya-hiya, nabili niya yung buong Senado. Tsaka yung Senado, aminado, na nabili sila, pero sinasabi nila, hindi, ginamit namin yan sa daan matuwid. Parang gano'n. Ngayon na kinaharap niya na yung Korte Suprema, tama ba yun? Kayo po, abogado, is that right? I mean, 13-0, the Supreme Court says that's no cross-border spending, you don't have that power. And here comes the President, live on TV last Monday, di ba? Or Tuesday, Monday. At sabi niya, hindi, nagkamali dito Supreme Court. Hindi siya abogado.
Yes.
How did you feel watching that, di ba?
Well, from an observer's point of view, not necessarily as a petitioner, I could see that there's something wrong with the statement because that 13-0 voting in favor of the petitioners declaring the DAP unconstitutional did not just come out of the blue. These justices meticulously studied the cases that were lodged before them. And they also reviewed the Constitution and the law, the General Appropriations Act. So this decision is a well-studied, thorough decision. This is no ordinary thing. And what the President did last Monday was really unfortunate. It's unprecedented of him.
Literally?
Yes.
Of any president?
Of any president in the history of our country.
And to think that 4 justices, including the Supreme Court
Chief Justice,
were appointed by him.
Yes.
And they're the ones who turned around and said, hindi po, mali po kayo. Di ba parang gano'n ang diretsuhan dyan eh?
We really thought from the start that these 4 might have a different perspective
Okay,
of the cases.
9-3,
Yes,
9-4.
that was our
I remember, I read
prediction.
that.
But eventually, probably they realized that really DAP is a legal monstrosity, an unconstitutional creation of the Department of Budget and Management with the approval of the President. And so they did not think otherwise than to declare it unconstitutional.
Attorney, in recent history, the newspapers, the copy, wherever I read up anywhere, it shows proof that Noy Noy, when he was a congressman and a senator, went against impounding budgets.
Yes.
When you impound them, and you say that they are savings, it's one and the same thing almost as the
Yes.
DAP. Of course, there is the cross-border issue. But, di ba alam niya alam ni ex-congressman, former congressman, abad, di naman, how can they promote goodwill?
They are saying that they are in good faith.
Oh, good faith, paano yun?
But all the evidence show that these people are qualified and have knowledge about the budget process because they were once legislators. And in the case of Secretary Abad, he's a lawyer. And so he cannot cry innocence or ignorance. Ignorance, anyway, of the law excuses no one. So we are really startled by the claim of the palace that those behind the DAP, the authors, proponents, and implementers, are in good faith.
But can the Supreme Court, however, excuses them and says na, well, the past deeds, in good faith naman ginawa ng Presidente. Why did the Supreme Court bend to that extent?
The Supreme
Hindi ko
Court,
naintindihan yung part na yun.
yes, the Supreme Court went to that extent because of the gravity of the constitutional violations.
Kasi malalang malalabas
yes,
niyan.
because in these cases, it was established that the principal violator of the Constitution is the President himself. So this is no ordinary thing. In fact, according to Justice Brion, this is
I read that one.
yes, this is even bigger than the PDAF cases.
Yes.
This
Put together.
is a landmark case And since he had sat on the court, to his recollection, this is the biggest case the court has ever faced.
And in spite of that, the Supreme Court gave him an out saying, sige, parang pinagbigyan na rin namin kayo, we accept your good faith. Correct me if I'm wrong.
But only that applies to the beneficiaries who relied on good faith.
Only the beneficiaries.
Beneficiaries.
Not overall.
Not the authors, proponents, and implementors. So we are talking of the President, the Budget Secretary, the Cabinet members, implementing agencies, the senators, the congressmen, and all others.
So lahat sila damay. They're still guilty as far as the Supreme Court ruling is concerned.
Yes, because there's a presumption of bad faith. And so they have to establish good faith in a proper proceeding, which may be criminal, civil, or administrative. So they should show concrete findings. There should be concrete findings of good faith. Because right now, that's why the President is so mad about it, because there is a presumption of bad faith on their part. So this is a very, very serious thing which the Supreme Court touched, and I think that this is just proper.
Now that we have been shocked by the strategy taken by the President, kaysa magkumbaba, instead of face the music and get legal, disciplined strategists, di ba, so to speak, lumaban siya. Kwinestyon niya. And in spite of that, even before he submitted the motion for reconsideration, binira niya sa media. Hindi ka ba nabigla doon? I mean, what can or what will or what should the Supreme Court do? First, nababoy na sila. Binastos na naman sila in public. Just like when he went after Corona, during his declaration, when he was being made president, binaboy niya yung Chief Justice, di ba? Bumunta siya to some other person. Now, I don't understand. The Supreme Court has the independent authority, correct? Just as much as the President.
Yes.
But they decided, pinalabas. I read in the paper Tuesday morning, no comment.
Yes. Well, silence to us. Silence is the strongest weapon of the Supreme Court. Because if the Supreme Court remains silent, that means they did not dignify the unfair tirades, attacks of the President on the institution. So, by remaining silent, the Supreme Court has remained loyal to the Constitution and to the people. It did not engage in politics or in plain talk. Because what the Supreme Court has to do here is just to look at the merits of the motion for reconsideration rather than engaging the President in a verbal tussle.
So wag na lang, kumbaga.
Walang word war because this is really a mortal sin for the justices if they engage the executive or the legislative in a sort of a word war.
Attorney, abogado kayo. May laban ba Supreme Court sa Presidente?
Well,
Kaya ba?
Well, the Supreme
Mukhang
Court,
talo Supreme Court.
the Supreme Court neither has the sword nor the purse. But the Supreme Court, according to Father Bernas, has the Constitution. The Constitution is the highest law. No forces on this country can probably, without doing violence to the Constitution and betraying the people, disregard the Supreme Court.
But the President seems to have been doing this. In fact, today...
It's a bluff. It's a bluff.
But today, naglabas na naman siya mga bagong batas. Of course, natatawa nga ako, mga bangko, no? Now, 100% on foreign banks can now come in. Alam ko, may ano yan sa Constitution, eh, di ba? That's a 60-40 requirement being Filipino. The President has challenged the Supreme Court and continues today, as we talk, to be getting away with it. Can he actually do that? Kaya niya ba bastusin? At pwede ba siya manalo sa Supreme Court? But before you answer that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to take a short break. This ribbon on my neck with this color is beginning to really tighten. It's like a noose. But I will keep it for one more episode or one more break. I'm going to try and get some reasoning out of this situation that's happening in the country. Of course, if the noose keeps tightening before the end of this show, the ribbon will have to go. I guess the real question today is, are you wearing yellow or are you wearing black? Now, of course, if you're not political and you don't read the newspapers and all you want to do is watch the teleseries and the movies, you don't really care for the country. So, for that matter, you probably won't even be watching this show. So, Kasi hoda, right? That's what you would think. You know, ladies and gentlemen, isa lang po ang bayan natin, ito lang ang pwede natin imana sa mga kamag-anak natin, sa mga anak natin. If you don't care, it just goes to show what kind of person you are. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Attorney Manuel.